Welcome, friends. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Feel so happy to see your beautiful faces here. And it's just really wonderful to know we're part of a community um, that shows up and that you've joined us today for this birthday party, for this album, and for just a community shindig. Um, I am very happy that my wife Stephanie Hollenberg is here to host along with me. Yay! Hey everybody. um, I I fell on the ice the other day and got a concussion. so um so I'm extra happy that Steph is here to, prompt me when I gaze into the middle distance. Um so
So here we are. Welcome, welcome. We're here in Vermont, in southern Vermont, and just more people keep showing up. It's so exciting. If you feel so moved to put on your cameras so that we can see each other, do. If you want to remain anonymous, that's totally fine too. I know we're living in a Zoom world that's pretty intense at the moment. Um, we do ask you to keep yourselves muted through uh, the first part
yeah.
of this party that we're having. Um, there will be an opportunity at the end for you to um, unmute and share anything that comes up for you, that has come up for you as you listen to through the album and hear the stories that Luke is going to share about how these songs have developed and where they've come from. Um, so, with that,
Our main intention is for this to be fun. so we're just like sending people are saying, oh, where's the invite? So we're just like sending little notes out to people. Um yes. So I guess the first thing for us to do is to invite you, if you've got some good speakers or some good headphones, invite you to get those ready because we're going to be playing these songs we've been recording and polishing. So if you've got a good speaker, then great, or good headphones.
feel free to dance if you feel so led. Get up and move. Absolutely, absolument. Um, and gosh, there's a good number of us. I would invite you to put where you're calling from in the chat box so we can see. This is really a worldwide community that Luke has gathered. So,
So the team is gathered. There's a whole team. Yeah. Okay. So and it's amazing to look and see that um Randall Stoltzfus is here. He did the painting for the album cover.
woo,
Um
so welcome. So good to see you.
and and my mum and dad are here. Hi, mum and dad. Uh,
And
and
my mom
mums,
and dad are here too.
both our mums and dads are here, and our flatmates. Hi, everybody. So yeah, please do put your name and where you're calling from in the chat so
All
people can know what's going
right.
We do
on.
that.
Lowestoft, Birmingham, Whitnash, Leamington Spa, Suffolk, California in Dublin, not to be confused with California, Killaloe, Hemel Hempstead, Wolverhampton, Vermont. Woohoo! And someone else is asking about the Black Eye update, Luke.
Oh, okay, right. So and is our volume level okay? You This is good enough. Great, great. So Steph and I went out for a hike on Monday, and we were really excited to be out in the snowy wilderness. Right, we've not been getting out enough. We've been in front of this computer too much, and um, we decided to take our crampons off and ice skate
On this frozen pond.
on this huge frozen pond. Yeah, and we were having a really good time. And then the last thing I remember is falling, and I don't remember what happened after that. Yeah, yeah. So Steph's been looking after me extremely well, including coming today to help us.
Been kissed by the ice.
Yeah, really passionately kissed by the ice. So Carrie's here. We keep admitting everybody.
Woohoo!
Okay, friends. So there will be a chance for why not? Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Okay, great.
Just gathering ourselves.
So, okay, this album, it's called Ecstatic Bird in the Burning, and it's been a community putting this together. A lot of the songs were inspired by Stephanie. You'll hear the story as we go along. But I met Stephanie 8 years ago, and these songs have been coming up over the last kind of 5 years. Um, and really, it's an album about the ecstasy of being alive. Like, it's kind of amazing that we're here, right? It's a miracle that we're here with these bodies and the ability to see each other and in this incredible world. And it's maybe even more poignant in a burning world, right? There's so many crises. We're living in an age of crises. And so it's about the kind of urgent joy that's in that. I'm wondering if that makes sense for anybody. If it kind of makes sense for you, you can be like, yeah, I get that, or you can be like, nah, doesn't make sense to me. I'm not feeling that.
I see it's nods. Yeah.
Um, and so the vision for today is just for us to have a party to bring the album into the world and to really just celebrate and share some of the fruits. We've all learned things making this record, so we wanted to share that with you and see your best Zoom dancing if you feel like it. You don't have to do anything. Um, this is all by invitation. So, and the structure is going to be that Stephanie's kind of helping host today, and we're going to be in a bit of a dialogue. And we're going to talk through each song and how they started, play you a bit of the album, and then at the end, there'll be time for us to have a bit of a conversation. And
Yeah. So I think we should dig in, shall we?
absolument.
Yes. Let's start.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I yeah, I'm just also glad to see that Luke Clerkin's here. He was apprenticing this last season, helping out. Yeah, and to see Syra's here. Syra's been helping us host the Tuesday groups. Yeah, it's great to see everybody, Liz and Chuck and Mary. So we're not going to quite play the song, yeah, but the first song on the record is Absolument, which you maybe heard in the waiting room. And I don't know how long this song has been around for, but it had been in my unconscious for a long time, this idea of like, are you ready to sing Absolument? It'd been in my mind for ages. And then at a retreat my friend Holly was running, Holly Wilkinson at Whole Heart, she was talking about slowing down and sinking into the heart and listening to what it was saying. And in that retreat setting, that song was really coming up again. Like, are you ready for this? Absolument. About how in our hearts we're actually kind of ready for anything. There's something indefatigable, undefeated in the human spirit, in the heart. And this song's coming from there. And actually, it was really easy to write because I just let the heart flow and these words came out. And we realized it was a little bit boring if all song long it was just like absolument. So we had to have a little surprise in there. So there's a little like, are you ready to quit? No. So we threw in some surprises to keep it spicy enough. And
I think we should let him hear it.
and another amazing thing is that we just had an amazing band, right? Just amazing, amazing band. And so this was a groove thing we created together. And then later on, this amazing brass player called Darius Christian, you might have seen him at one of our launch parties for Your Heart Is in My Chest. He came on board and arranged brass on this song and another song later on the album. So we'll play you a bit, and
Just added a lot of magic.
we invite you to dance a little bit, even if it's just like off screen at first while you warm up.
Warm up dance moves. Here we go.
Can you hear that okay?
Hey!
Are you ready to sing? Are you ready to swing? Are you ready to fly? Are you ready to die? Are you ready to wake? Are you ready to break? Are you ready to shake? Are you ready to quake? Winter it breaks, winter it shakes. Our bosoms ache, we run to the lake. Wanting to lift, wanting to rise. All of us wanting to release the ties. Often the god wakes in the lake. White swan makes sky live for heaven's sake. Asking about dreams, stripped to the beams. Hear the ancestors scream. Are you ready to work? On the land till it hurts. Are you ready to dance? Making sweet love in France. Are you ready to change? Get your life rearranged. Are you ready to swim? To drop your phone and begin?
Are you ready?
To grow this family.
Are you ready?
To grow these veggies.
Are you ready?
To grow our spirit.
Are you ready?
To grow this music.
Woohoo! Thanks. What'd you make of that band?
If at any point you have questions or comments, or if there are any lyrics that are popping out to you, feel free to throw them in the chat.
And it's so sweet to get to see people. I was seeing some folk dancing at home. So if you want to join the party and you're wanting to take your camera online, that'd be great, because it's just nice to see everybody's faces if you're willing. Not compulsory. Oh yeah, look at all these faces. Oh look, we got some folk in Ireland, and we got some French friends, people from everywhere.
All right. So next up in the album is Your Heart Is in My Chest. I'm going to talk a little bit about where that came from.
Well, this song came from meeting you, Stephanie. So I got a writing retreat by writing to some friends here in Vermont, and I was asking, is there somewhere I could go for a month to write a load of songs to really go deep? And a load of different people wrote back, but the most exciting one to me was a family who said, you can come for free for a month. You're just what we're looking for. And you might like our daughter's music, and put a link to Anais Mitchell, who turns out to be one of my favorite songwriters of all time. If you've not heard Hadestown, then you got to hear it. She's a master of our generation. So they said, come and write here for a month for free. And I was totally blown away. And it was a good month of writing. It was a little bit lonely to be out in the middle of, their cabins right out in the woods on my own. And on the last day, I was like, wow, I better come up with something good before I leave. I come up with some good things, but not like the gold that I was hoping for. And I just said, what's my heart shaking to sing? And straight out of my heart came your heart is in my chest. That kind of melody came straight out. Those words and that melody came out, and then I just played with that, just kind of letting things out, right? I think songwriting is so much about just letting it flow through us rather than making it up or making it or pushing something. And I just realized that I was singing about Steph and just how meaningful it is to meet someone that you fall so in love with, and how primal it is and primary. Um, and the song evolved from that seedling.
And it's set on the Isle of Iona, where we did meet in Scotland. So it talks about crossing the Sound, right? So the Sound is the body of water surrounding Iona, and and it's a holy place. It's been a holy place for Christians for centuries. So the chorus is, "I'm crossing the blue Sound to bow myself down," as well. Yeah. Um, yeah, beautiful. Should we hear a little bit of it?
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, and John Parker, my bestie from Nizloppy, is the bass player on this one, so enjoy the bass.
Your heart is in my chest. Your heart is in my chest. I'm crossing the blue Sound to bow myself down. Your heart is in my chest. This girl is a lantern on the island, through the wind, through the rain. Now a smile, and you gave me a wildfire inside. On the train, leaving you, through the dark, journaling the big bang in my heart, expanding at the speed of the stars. Little bells are ringing, and I'm tight-throated, singing your raiment. Violet Juliet, your heart is in my chest. Your heart is in my chest. I'm crossing the blue Sound to bow myself down. Your heart is in my chest.
Woo! Oh, thanks everyone. uh, so next up on the album comes a song called "Doing Nothing," and you may have seen the music video, which came out a few months ago with a puppet and Luke singing to the puppet. It's very sweet, and just a wonderful team of artists who put that together. Tell us what this song is about, Luke.
Well, I just keep loving looking at this screen and just seeing these different faces. I'm just like, ooh, and people keep joining us as well. There's like 36 screens. Okay, well, was it too close? So doing nothing. So this is my kind of confession song. Does anyone have an internet addiction here?
Yeah, everyone's like, "Grr."
Oh, it's so addictive, and it really helps me now I'm living with Steph, because Steph comes in at like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm looking at YouTube and I go, I should stop. But when I'm on my own, I can lose myself. Yeah, I'm wondering if you feel like there's just this sadness because there's so much to do with life, and yet we can get so distracted, right? And there was that film, The Social Dilemma, about how actually people pay a lot of money to figure out how to hack our attention. So we're grateful your attention is with us now. And this song was just me trying to be really honest. And actually, the truth is quite comical, right? That sometimes I read about Ed Sheeran and think, gosh darn it, that looks fun. He used to be my roadie, our roadie. And yeah. Do you get any of these feelings, Steph?
Absolutely. I actually quit social media just before the new year. I'm off of it myself because I just got to a breaking point myself. Yeah. And I feel much like clearer because of it. So yeah, definitely. There's a lot of life is so precious, right? This last week was a wake up call for me. You know, when Luke got his concussion, it just kept reliving those few minutes when he was confused and just being able to take the time to look around us and see who's with us and who we love is really precious. So yeah, the song is a good reminder for that. Yeah.
And what I'm loving seeing some of the comments here. Like Mary, right? I am in the internet too much. I relate. I'm frustrated with myself, and it's there's something about like remembering community, right? Bringing back our communities. We need that because that's the only thing that's more interesting than television. I think like we need the real stuff. So it's good we can be virtually together now, and hope we can just keep coming together more and more so that we've got something more interesting to pay attention to.
Let's have a listen. And this is Luke's most country song, so it's fun to hear him playing with styles.
I'm not doing nothing at all, doing nothing at all with my life. I'm watching cage fighting, comedy shorts all night. I'm doing nothing at all, oh, that I'm called to. Not living the life I was born to, 'cause I'm scared of my gift. I'm not doing nothing at all, doing nothing at all with my life. I'm looking up ex-girlfriends with Facebook shining bright, reading about Ed Sheeran, thinking I inspired him. Easier than taking the risk of being as bold as him, doing nothing at all, oh, that I'm called to. Not living the life I was born to, 'cause I'm scared of my gift.
Thank you, friends.
Woohoo!
Thanks for listening. How's everybody doing at home or out and about? It looks like Hamish is out and about.
Running.
I wonder where Hamish is. Maybe in London. Nope. Well, with a name like Hamish, maybe in Glasgow. So yeah.
Hummingbird. The next song
Hummingbird.
is Hummingbird, which is an instrumental mostly. Tell us where this came from. Very familiar.
Well, have any of the Europeans seen a hummingbird before in like the flesh?
One.
Oh yeah.
A lot of shakes of the head.
Some folks. Yeah. So I hadn't seen one until I came to America. I moved here 4 years ago to be with Steffi, and I saw my first hummingbird, and it was so enchanting. I realized that those images of fairies in films, they're just based on hummingbirds. They kind of like flit in and flit out. And so I saw it for a few seconds and was so inspired, and I got my guitar and started imagining if I was in the hummingbird's body, what's its tune. So this tune is actually copyrighted by All Hummingbirds. I didn't actually write it, I just stole it. And the, the Hummingbirds told me to gift it to my daddy Kieran Concannon, who's there with my mummy Sue Concannon. You can see them, they're waving now. uh, and I was lucky enough to grow up in a family where there was music happening a lot, and my dad plays the tin whistle and the Irish pipes, and so this tune
And
is
many other things.
many hundreds of things. You can't keep up. And this tune comes out of that tradition. So hummingbirds did originate in Ireland and then moved to America.
And it's
That was a joke.
Sorry, I was moving on to the next thing. You also have a lot of really excellent musicians on this album. I'm thinking about a young mandolin whiz who went to school in Boston. He's actually from my home city in Indiana, which is wild. But Ethan Setiowan plays on it. Who else plays on this one?
He is such a whiz. When people hear this track, they're like, who's that guy? If they're folkies, they're like, who's that guy? Jim Prendergast, who produced this record, he plays the accompanying guitar so beautifully. This is his sort of tradition, the kind of Irish instrumental music guitar. So he crushed it. And my music teacher, W.A. Mayhew, arranged the chords, which is why they're so sublime, because he's an amazing arranger.
Yeah.
In a lesson, it's a good way to use your lessons to get your teacher to arrange your songs.
I think we should hear a little bit.
Yeah,
Shall we?
and I invite you to
Anything
dance
else?
to this one. It is a bit of a dancing tune. It picks
yeah.
up as it goes along.
Oh,
Starts
yeah.
off slow, but let's see you move. Gotta get out and drink petunias. Gotta get out and drink those hollyhocks. Swinging through the morning light, tall trees and dragonflies. Gotta get out and drink petunias. Gotta get out and drink the blazing star. Thanks for listening, friends. Thanks for the comments. I realized it picks up a bit. The dancing happens a bit further into the song. The beginning's like interpretive dancing.
It's some early morning. Hummingbird is waking up.
It's making its
Really
coffee.
beautiful. The other interesting thing to note about that song is that Luke invited Kieran to play on it with the pipes, and Kieran said, "This is the wrong key for pipes. What key did you write this in?" So unfortunately, we didn't get him on that track, but another one, Kieran.
I've been taught by jazzers, and so now it's got like Yeah. It's got some weird stuff going on it.
So next up is Feel You in My Arms. We actually are taking a tour through darker territory in the next few songs. But Feel You in My Arms has a really touching story behind it. Will you share that with us?
Thank you, Stephanie. I will share that story. Uh, so, um, oh, one of my favorite songwriters is Rory McLeod. Do any of you know Rory McLeod? Yes, in Sydney. Hamish in Sydney knows. That's amazing. He's made it all the way over there. So Rory is a force of nature and just so much integrity and a real kind of labor movement songwriter. Um, and when I first met him, I very nervously said, "How do you write such great songs?" And he said, um, "Try putting yourself in someone else's shoes and keep it simple." And I tried that, and the first song I really tried that on was one called "I Want to Be Free," about my nanny Joyce when she just had a stroke, and it seemed to be effective to put yourself in other people's shoes and explore other people's humanity and see that we're so similar as well. So this song is from the perspective of two homeless guys in the neighborhood we lived in sort of Boston, Cambridge area. And it was some of the things they said when I would meet these guys and have a quick chat with them. And I did a bit of volunteering in in a soup kitchen, and I would play some music, and sometimes some of the service users would get up and jam with me, and I've rarely experienced passion like that, just the desire to sing and express themselves and their humanity and creativity. And so that came into this song. Enjoy. Thanks so much for listening, friends.
Can you spare some change to help the homeless? Took this bottle off a kid who's too young, looking for some kind and open donors. I couldn't let that kid drink it and get strong. I'm Steve, I'm okay, I need a spoon. Bastard shot me in the head years ago. Robbed me and left me lying neath the moon. Say the plates they put in, say scars in rows. I yearn for a family. Feel you in my, feel you in my arms. Reclining garden laughter. Feel you in my, feel you in my arms. I got smashed to pieces like an egg. All the fragments floating around my head. And I just want a kiss before I'm dead. Feel you in my, feel you in my arms.
You can hear Stephanie and our friend Hannah Molloy singing on these songs too. Oh, thank you, pals. Gosh, I really want to get to hear your voices. I'm looking forward to the conversation part.
So It Won't Wait is the next song on the track. And this is a really haunting song with really haunting lyrics. And I remember Luke sitting down in our living room with our friend Hannah Molloy, who is also a supporting singer on this album. We lived with her and they just sat and worked through some lyrics. So worked him into shape. Do you want to share a little bit about where the song came from and what it means?
This song, I was getting up early in the morning to write songs in our neighborhood in Boston, and there was Spy Pond, a big, in Europe we call it a lake, right? But in America they call it a pond. And I would go and sit there and write in the morning. And this song came up about, the first few lines are, there's a darkness coming round, soon will stalk you round this town. It's the idea that there's there is darkness in these times we're living through, right? Whether it's the environmental situation or the political situation or the economic, social, and that's actually about waking us up. Paradoxically, the darkness is waking us up, but I think we can't be under illusions anymore about the realities of the world, right? We've been getting woken up. So I promise there are some fun things about this album. It's all like heavy, but
the title is The Ecstatic Bird and the Burning, right? This album does acknowledge the part of the world and the part of society that feels like it's on fire. But there's this ecstatic bird. Fun fact, the original working title of his album was The Ecstatic Love of the Bird in the Burning. The ecstatic love of the bird in the burning. And he was told that it was too long. So now it's just The Ecstatic Bird in the Burning. But it's, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So we'll play you this because I want there to be plenty of time to hear your voices too at the end. So here we go.
There's a darkness coming round, soon we'll stalk you round this town, staring at you from its gown, whispering wake or die. It says a lightning, it's blood the sea. Blue black clouds roll over me. Scattered seeds need community for tethering this storm. And you won't wait, you won't wait, you won't wait for us. A pine straw on a blue screen, we dance together in my dreams. Outside the trees, I'm in the breeze. There we have a tiny chance, but you won't wait, you won't wait, you won't wait for us. Ba-da-da, 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 ba-ba-da-da, ba-da-da, 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 oh, ba-da-da, 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 ba-ba-da-da, ba-da-da, 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 ba-da-da. I came here.
I love that line in there, Luke. It actually speaks to it really speaks to the title. Scattered seeds need community for tethering this storm. It's a really beautiful line.
Thanks. You know what's really helped this record has been to get a good teacher. So I've been seeing W.A. Mayhew, highly recommend him as a music teacher. And he would say things to me like, Luke, what does that line mean? And then Stephanie would say the exact same thing. And I'd be like, right, second opinion, you know. So it's just really helped to be in dialogue. Steph's really helped the songs. Teacher allowed him to help the songs.
Luke has surrounded himself with very opinionated musicians. So
strong people, left, right, and center.
So Denial takes us into a sweet spot in this album. You'll hear that it's an a cappella ballad. Can you tell us where that comes from? What inspired that?
So I remember being at a pub, the Cape of Good Hope in Warwick, where there was a singing session or a music session as a small boy. And I remember a guy with red hair and a red beard standing up by the dartboard um, and closing his eyes and singing a ballad. And there was lots of smoke and beer. And I just remember it was beautiful that he just closed his eyes and let rip with this song, you know, no instrumentation, just a song from the heart, let the melody and the words carry it. And I loved that in our ballad traditions. And I wanted to write a song that came from that place. Um,
So this is called Denial. What are you denying in this song?
I'm not denying anything. So it's really it's it's kind of looking at where do we trip up? Where do I trip up? And it's often when I'm hiding from the truth, when I'm like, I don't even want to think about that or talk about that. Um, and so I was looking back at some mistakes I'd made and thinking, oh, there was some burying my head in the sand. And so I guess this song's about being brave enough to take our heads out of the sand and make friends with our fear.
Let's go ahead and listen to it.
Will you help me out? I am running from this pain. Will you touch me now? Running from mistakes I made long ago. Heartbreaks and rain when I was a troubled youth. I wish I had been braver. Wish I'd spoken my truth. We buried our heads in the sand, made a wreck of my hometown. Our mud skyscrapers, the earth shook and they came down. Oh, the wounded lay in rubble, letting their madness go. You've gotta sing your true song or be food for the crows.
There you go. Thank you. We
More
appreciate
seeds
you.
of community in that song. More seeds of community.
It's great to read the comments as we're going along as well.
Movie soundtrack. I think that was to It Won't Wait. Yeah. So we accidentally skipped over a song. The one that comes before this and after Denial is called Coventry. And Luke got a fantastic album review a few days ago, and they were raving about this song. But what they didn't catch is that this has a lot of layers, this song Coventry. It draws on the burning, the Blitz of 1940 and when Coventry Cathedral was burned. But can you tell us what that means, why you used that imagery and what it's describing?
Right. So I was having some conflict with a loved one, and I was hoping to build bridges, and I realized that if in certain situations we can't build bridges yet, right? And I realized it was more like, in that metaphor, it was more like the town was on fire. You can't build a bridge when the town's on fire. And so in my heart, it felt like Coventry, like a place that had been a sacred place or a home was no longer like that.
And there was an interesting textual change that you were working with in this song. Is that right? It feels like Coventry versus it's like Coventry.
So teacher again, keeps setting me right. He was like, Luke, you can't. He said it's poetically arrogant of you to say it's like Coventry. You can say it feels like it in my heart. I appreciated him being real with me. So that's why that changed. And he also said, like, what do you want to leave people with? Is it just like a song? What's the lesson? And the lesson comes in at the end of the song, which you can hear if you pre-order it. You can hear at the end of the song. We're going to play you the beginning now.
I don't wanna be your friend anymore. We are at war. I wish there was something could be done. What have we become? People burning while they're yearning for a kiss now. Wanted heaven, but the cathedral's been hit now. What is it you wanna see happen to me now? Do you wanna kill me? Do you wanna kill me? It feels like Coventry in 1940. Centuries rain, fire on our city. It feels like Coventry, and the blitz just burning. Poured our hearts, now we're learning. Do you wanna let me into your heart now? No, burn the whole world down. Do you wanna let me into your heart now? No, feels like Coventry in my heart.
Thank you.
It's an intense one, but you got to hear the ending. You really do. It's really incredible how Luke wraps that one up. So yes. I've been sharing in the chat box where you can pre-order the album. This is such a crazy time for artists, and if you're wanting to support independent artists, and you can spare $10, that's a great way to support Luke and this music that he's put so much into over the last years. I mean, this has been a long time in the making. And so you can pre-order the album, share it with friends. If you just are a bit stretched for money and cash at the moment, please share it with friends. Listen to it, and let's have this album heard. So next in the album is Grow Wild. And again, we're coming from this torn apart, this, world in flames back to community in this song. So Grow Wild. Can you tell us about that?
Whilst we were talking about things that are coming up.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So the album's out a week tomorrow on the 5th of February. And we're having a proper party, a launch party that day. Same time, same place, this same Zoom address. And Steph and I will be singing for you a live set, and we'll be in conversation with one of our favorite authors, Alistair McIntosh, who also married us in 2019. and we'll have Tapes from Birmingham, Jimmy Davis doing a set as well. So that link is in the chat right now. The album launch party. So you're all welcome, and please do share that with folks so we can have a good old pandemic rave together.
So
Grow Wild, Grow Wild. So this song, this was another one that I started at the Mitchell's farm, Aeneas Mitchell's family place. I really like writing outdoors. There's something amazing about being outdoors, right? Because it seems like our mind is bigger outside. There's something about walls that kind of close in our consciousness a bit, I find. Whereas being outdoors with the wind and the open sky, it allows more things in. So this song, I started in the woods on the Mitchell's farm, and I think I redrafted this song 20 times. A lot of them were because I would come to Steph and I'd be like, I've got it, Steph, I've got it. I finished the song, and I'd play it, and Steph afterwards, I would look up and Steph would be like, what does that line mean? And I'd be like, oh no, it's not finished. Because obviously we want songs to connect enough so that people can get into the world of the song. So yeah, it took a couple of years and a lot of revisions, but I think it helped me grow up a bit to do the work.
And those who know you would say, aren't you wild enough, Luke? Why do we need to grow more wild?
Well, I mean, I think it's with songs, it's like they surprise me when they come up. I'm not sure what it's like for other songwriters. It's something that emerges out of us, and just a yearning to kind of return to a relationship with the land and with each other that's more natural, more wild, to grow wild together rather than to make something, to grow into something. Yeah, so that's what this one's about.
Cool. If you have any questions or comments about this song or any others, feel free to throw them in the chat box. Here's Grow Wild.
I set adrift from the wreck of my relationships. Anger had grown until we sank. I met a lady, jasmine growing through her hair. We sang the stars, tuning in, and love is on her lips, an opening freshness. We'll tend this garden between us and serve the people who need us.
Thank you, pals. Thanks a lot. Oh, it's great to see the old Nizloppy Get Radical t-shirt there.
Oh yeah, from the Cosbys.
Yeah.
Love it. There it is.
Oh yeah.
See, this theme of growing wild and spreading the seeds of community has been with Luke for decades, I dare say. I'm just looking at that image of that t-shirt. Anyway.
With all of us.
Yeah. So the very last song on the album is Join the Liberation, and I feel like this has been with you for years. Is that right?
It's true. Like, I wrote it the first year I was here. First summer I was here was 2016. No, 2017. Yeah. Yeah.
And this just really wraps up all of the whole album in a really beautiful way. It's sort of speaking to that question of how do we confront the darkness? How do we navigate it?
So I was at a conference at Harvard Graduate School of Education, where we live in, and it was called Alumni of Color. So it was Black and brown alumni presenting material to current and previous students, and it was a really powerful, radical event. That kind of the liberation spirit that I'd seen in documentaries about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, that it was interesting for me to see that spirit in person, right? To be in a room with activists, writers, poets, teachers from that tradition, living that tradition today. And one of the presenters said, to our white friends who are here with us today, if you are here to save us or because you want to help us, please leave. But if you are here because you see that your liberation is bound up in ours, you are welcome. And that just blew my mind, right? That actually what this path of being alive and making art is about is creating ways through what is holding us back as a people. And so the song comes from there. I was hoping it would get Jeremy Corbyn into government in the UK, but it was a little hubristic of me maybe. But I hope you enjoy it.
Feel free to sing along to this one.
You're in a terrible fix. This world is burning while it all falls to bits. There is such a deep yearning. We know we could do much better. We know we could love more. We know we could care for the hungry. We know we could hear the voice of the poorest who say, stop bombing us, stop starving us, stop robbing. Join the liberation, liberation, liberation. Stop bombing us, stop starving us, stop robbing. Join the liberation.
Join the liberation, the liberation.
You can sing along at home.
Woo!
Join the liberation, the liberation, the liberation. That's it.
Woohoo!
That's it. We're all part of it. So friends, there's the album. There is Ecstatic Bird in the Burning. And
Out next week on Friday, the 5th
February.
of February. Indeed, indeed. Woohoo!
And it's just so special to have you here. Thank you so much for coming and being with us and for listening. I feel slightly guilty for just going on all the time, and I want to hear from you because, you know, relationships are a give and take, right? So I was wondering if there are any questions or if anyone feels drawn to share anything from the heart at this point. So if you have a question or something you feel drawn to share, then please take yourself off mute and let's have a chat.
Anything coming up for anyone?
Luke, it's Vince here. Hey.
Hey Vince.
Hey man, hey, when are you coming back to the UK to do some workshops apart from during the COVID lockdown? I understand, but do you have any plans at all after this?
Thank you, Vince, because we were in a workshop a couple years back, right?
I wasn't there with you. You and I were sitting around a campfire at Croissant Neuf.
That was it.
The
That was it.
Sheeran gig. But I haven't made it to your workshop yet because, to be honest with you, I'm not ready to write songs yet. I'm still a bit sore. I've lost my mum recently due to Alzheimer's. So I feel like most people, like you, when you write music, it comes from the heart. A lot of it's related to relationships. Sorry, that's probably this. What's it? But when the time comes, when I'm ready, then I'd like to join you and seek your guidance in this. So
Thank you, Vince. And yeah, it sounds like you've been through a tough time. So hugs, and I'm glad you're here with us. And the plan is that actually we're going to put a online songwriting workshop up soon, like announcing that in the next couple of months. So there'll be one of those in the meantime. And then we are hoping to put a tour on in the UK in May 2022.
yeah,
Because it seems like this might be a year of clearing the pandemic. So 2022 be over, and would love to put on a workshop then, and would love to see you there.
Oh, that'd be better. Where are you going to go to in the UK? Where are you planning? Back down to the southwest?
Everywhere we can.
Are you going to do a touring workshop?
Yeah, like a tour of venues and a workshop. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank.
And my other question was, are you going to get back with John at all to do another duo album, or are you guys moved on in that sense? Or
we're gonna put a best of out as soon as we can be in a room again together, but we need to be able to get through the pandemic, and then we can, because we want to record a couple of new songs for a best of record. Yeah,
I know it's tough for you guys as well. I've got some friends that are like pro musicians, and it's just, I feel for you guys, so we'll keep supporting you as much as we can, Helen and I. I'm sure everybody else here will as well. But keep doing what you're doing, keep smiling. I know it's tough, guys, especially in your industry. So, done and keep it up. That's all I can say.
Thank you so much for being here, Vince.
And thanks for the cat dances too.
Did you see it?
Oh yeah, it was really good.
He's gone back over there now. You know what? Cats, you can only touch them for so long. They want a bit of attention. As soon as you start getting them, then they're like, "No, I'm going now."
Well,
good.
Thanks for being here, Vince.
You're welcome.
I see Damo is
Yeah, how you doing there? Lovely album, Luke. Lovely album. I was having visions listening to it, and so well done there. And I'll be getting it, ordering it. And just a question: will you be giving a live stream show of the songs? At some stage. That's the tour is a long way away, so I think. Okay, thanks, you.
Thanks, Damo.
great question.
Yeah, and I love the visions. I'm glad about that. That's what we hope for. So, so we will be playing, a few of the songs on release day, Stephanie and I together. And then I'd like to start doing a weekly stream, of songs. The difficult thing about doing a proper gig is that it involves getting musicians in a room together, like a full band stream at the moment. And that's kind of difficult, right? But I've seen people doing it. Kate Rusby's done it. Okay, I'm going to think about that, Damo. Thank you.
The crowd won it.
I think Sarah's got a question.
Yeah, hi. I have a couple actually. One, would you ever do like a songwriting workshop for children? Because I know some children that are big fans of yours, and they would be delighted. And number two, I want to, because I've followed you, well, I kind of heard all of your music over the years, and there's been some of those kind of common themes there always about like passionate about your love for humanity and bringing people together and kind of unifying people through music. And I mean, that's always been there. But there's something that feels like it's really shifting in your writing and in your, maybe in the heart of your music. And I want to know about that, really, like the spirit of it or the soul of it. What's going on?
Thank you. Yeah, that's such an interesting question. It's a deep question. So yes, please, love to do a workshop with Alicia and and it's Elena.
Yes.
Elena. Sometimes we get videos of Sarah's two nieces, and they are so talented and so cute, coming up with songs. So yeah, something has really shifted, and I think you know, what is it? We all go through seasons, right? So Give It All, the last full album I put out in 2013. I guess I had a kind of a young man, like, change the world, like this all needs to change sort of spirit going on. And I think something's changed in that now it feels a bit more like nature has been kind of calling. And actually I've tried a lot of that activism, the sort of marching and the organizing and the volunteering, and actually I kind of like art better as a way to connect and grow and change. So that's been coming through. And I just think getting taught by a great teacher, like he would say things to me like, Luke, in this song you're just telling me what to do. What are you, my mother? And he's like, you're telling me I need to change this and change that. so he was challenging me to go a bit deeper and tell a story and paint a picture. And so that's helped. And yeah, and being in a relationship, right? When I wrote Give It All, I wasn't in this relationship. So I think we've been on a whole journey.
Can I just add something there, guys? Sorry to interfere again. Luke, while you're in a good relationship, write some happy songs about good relationships. Because all the songs I hear, you know, my brother-in-law is a songwriter, and he's like, Dean, why haven't you written any songs recently? He says, because I've been married to your sister for 20 years. And I'm like, okay.
So he's happy.
He's got nothing miserable to write about, you know. It's always sorrow or problems or arguments and reconciliation and all that kind of stuff, isn't it? So write some happy songs, man. Look at your lady. Yay, happy song. Sorry, I'm going back.
Thanks, Vince.
Well, there is one or two of those on here, so your heart is on my chest, definitely.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Please, and
David.
comments are welcome too.
I was just wondering, you've been doing this for a long time now, touring and writing songs, music. I just wondered how easily the songs come to you. Are they a struggle or do they come quite easily?
Great question.
Yeah. Yeah, do you write, David?
I do, yeah. I went through a patch where I wrote about 2 songs in 10 years. And then since last May, I've written about 24 songs. So I've kind of got over a really dry patch.
Isn't it wild the way that these things come like that? Yeah. Well, I do coach singer-songwriters. So if anyone needs any help, I'm here for you. And it's interesting, you know, because selling or sharing a record is so different to writing a record. And so in the 2 years after I put Give It All out, I was just gigging and promoting, and it gets a bit confusing, and I don't like it actually. I don't like it nearly as much as the times where I can write. And I think writing it's a bit like you know, exercise. If the more we do it, the easier it feels, and if we don't, we can get a bit rusty. So I do have patches, and I'm trying to figure it out because what I find interesting is that a lot of these songs came on retreat, where I went away and made time just for the music, really. I think that says something, right? If we're too busy, we can't really hear the deeper music, and it can't flow. So I guess it's making time for it is what comes up for me. I don't know whether that's true for you.
And oh, go ahead.
And I was just wondering what you're kind of hoping to for this album to achieve, because you've spoken about Ed Sheeran, and would you really want to be in his position? Would you want that kind of level of fame? I mean, he's kind of the biggest solo star probably in the world today, and would you want that? I wouldn't want that at all. I would hate it. I'm quite a private person. So.
Right. So you know yourself, and you know what you need. Yeah. I think I'm the same as you, right? I like quiet, I like peace, I like simplicity. And I do, so what would I hope for this album? I just would love it to like that seed image in that Get Radical t-shirt, that it could just spread on the wind, and grow where it needs to grow. And I'd love it if it was nourishing for people. And I would love to play to big audiences again. I love serving a big room, or a big festival. I find that really sweet. And it helped to earn more money as well. So, so that's the hope.
But it is an interesting tension, because I think Luke and I are kind of hermits at heart. Luke is happiest when he's getting up at 5 a.m., doing his meditation and yoga and like centering practices, and then going to the river and writing for 2 or 3 hours. And a touring lifestyle where you're out until 1 a.m. isn't conducive to that, right? So it's an interesting tension. That's actually been a silver lining that we've found since the pandemic, because a lot of Luke's fans and followers are in the UK. I mean, it's only 4:15 here in the afternoon. So so we're connecting, Luke's been connecting with audiences the last few months midday, which has been kind of a fun thing. Yeah.
Right, thank you.
Thanks for asking.
Any other questions or thoughts? Or gosh, Ecstatic Bird in the Burning, what does that bring up for y'all? Silence.
Are you doing all right, Cal?
The image of the phoenix. That makes me think of the phoenix.
Oh yeah, Phoenix from the Flames.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do right now.
Sahira, does your cat want to dance with my cat?
Vince, I think she does too.
Guys. Sorry, guys, I had to just hijack it there for a second.
No.
She's a sweetie.
So Luke, what comes up for you as you prepare to launch this album into the world? As you're listening back to these songs that you've been living with for the last few years. Oh, and there's a question, what's the lyric you're most proud of?
Oh,
so a few questions for you.
Thanks, Andy. Well, in reverse order, the lyric I'm most proud of, well, actually, I thought the one you picked out, I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. The old scattered seeds need community for tethering this storm. To tether the storm is like where you tie yourself to the mast when you're in a storm, right? I think that's what the captain would tie themselves to the mast so they could keep steering the ship and not get washed overboard. And what's coming up for me with releasing the record, it's just that it's an amazing journey. Like, it's absolutely, life is just so surprising and beautiful, right? Like, who knows what's going to happen? We can get so traumatized by the bad things that happen, and yet, who would have known before Barack Obama was elected that was going to happen? who would have known that I would have met Steph and that all of this would be happening? There's a lot of reasons for hope and lots of evidence for transformation. So I think what's coming up at this point is just that it's such a blessing to be alive and to get to create and to just be grateful for it, I guess. Just be grateful that we're here and we can do what we're doing. Yeah. And big thanks to the team. Kerry Harvey Piper is here, who's my manager. She's so generous and diligent. There she's waving. And her husband Callum McCall is there. He's an amazing musician, and he's very funny as well. So yeah, we've got a community that when we're doing this thing together. Takes a village.
So there's a question from Mo in the chat box. Her son Izzy wants to know if we are going to live in their garden again. What was it? The summer after we got married.
The summer we got married.
The summer we got married. We ended up living with Mo and Izzy in their camper van bus.
In that amazing hippie bus. It was so plush. It has like a dining area and a kitchen and like a curtained off 4-poster bed. Seriously.
So good.
Yeah, if you're willing to have us back, Izzy,
we'll move in tomorrow.
We'll come back as soon as it's safe. Yeah, and we know some people need to go because it's the hour, so if you need to go, that's fine. We just thought we'd hang out with you.
Yeah, we'll stick around for a little bit more. I'm just gonna share again the link where you can pre-order the album if you want to pre-order it for a friend, or then that would be awesome as well. It's out next Friday, and again, the launch party will be next Friday as well, which is just going to be a lot of fun. I realized after I had agreed to host the launch party next week, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm going to be hosting 3 madmen. Alistair McIntosh is this wild Scotsman who is a climate activist and prolific author. He was born in the Outer Hebrides, lives in Glasgow. Tapes, Jimmy Davis, is one of Luke's dearest friends. And when you get the two together, my goodness. And then Luke, if you know Luke, he's a bit of a wild man himself. So if you come next week, please come to support me too. It's going to be a good...
You need to help Steph corral us. Stop us all screaming. Ah!
No. Grow wild, grow wild.
So does anyone feel like drawn to share anything at this point?
Here's a question here. Do you find any difference between UK and US audiences and how they react to your music?
Do you know what? I've not done a lot of gigs in the US because of pandemic times. But I guess the stereotypes about Americans maybe being a bit more outgoing, that could be true, right? British people can be a little bit more reserved. But there's a real commonality as well. Yeah, there's a real similarity. Yeah. Have you seen a difference? I remembering one gig we played in the UK 2019. Steph was so frustrated that the audience were being so well behaved that she came out into the audience and started lifting people out of their seats. Come on, let's dance.
People were just listening so nicely. This is at a festival, and I literally just ran down the aisle of this church, which was the venue, and tried to lead by example.
Very well. Very well.
I don't know about that though, Luke, because I've been at some of your gigs in the UK where people have had their tops off and all sorts.
That's true. Yeah, that was a high point.
And I think there's also just a bit of like cultural context that maybe US folk Americans don't quite get. Like the JCB song. I think most Americans don't know what a JCB is. I think I've seen one here driving around the US. And then there's also the accent. I mean, my dear parents who are with us now here today, you know, sometimes the accent gets in the way as well. So I act as translator sometimes. And Luke has learned to enunciate and stuff. So there are those interesting things. Yeah.
We are gonna put this show up online, Damo. Thanks for asking. Yeah, we'll put it up on my YouTube channel. Yeah. Last chances for any sharings.
I wonder if we should go out with Join the Liberation. Should we just play the whole track?
Let's do it. Let's have a dance.
We all have a dance party
Last track on the album.
to bid farewell to each other. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, Mary McDurk, it's so good to see you, Mary. Hi. Mary was our neighbor in the Boston area for a few years. We miss you. All right, friends, join the liberation. If you are in a space where you can get up and move, we invite you to do so.
You're in a terrible fix. This world is burning while it all falls to bits. There is such a deep yearning. We know we could do much better. We know we could love more. We know we could care for the hungry. We know we could hear the voice of the poorest who say, stop bombing us, stop starving us, stop robbing. Join the liberation, liberation, liberation. Stop bombing us, stop starving us, stop robbing. Join the liberation. There is an election now that calls us to wake up. We can choose kindness and dignity, or the same old insanity. No, hearts are broken in Manchester, broken in Baghdad, broken in London, broken people going mad, broken in Libya, broken in Belfast. What is it that helps us come together and hold fast? We are all one nation, really. What is it that makes us dearly love the enemy, love the friend? Come back to what's whole again and say, stop bombing us, stop stabbing us, stop killing. Join the liberation, liberation, liberation. Stop bombing us, stop stabbing us, stop killing. Join the liberation. harming us, stop starving us, stop robbing, join the liberation.
Thank you so much, friends, for joining us. We are so grateful that you took the time to hang out and celebrate Luke's forthcoming album. If you have any questions, shoot us a message, contact us by Facebook, Instagram, we're everywhere, Twitter. Yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie, for hosting today. Steph's been really looking out for me this week whilst I've been slightly dazed and confused. Thank you.
Can I just say, Stephanie, sorry for the typo. I was just saying thank you both.
Oh, you're so welcome.
I can't edit that or undo it. So
no worries.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Yay.
Thanks, everybody.
Woohoo!
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
friends.
Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Randolph.